It drew on analyze how suggests how the convergency of electrical cars and Uber-style trip-hailing networks, along an independent drive technique, could fully alter the car marketplace. These new robo-taxis would be so inexpensive to use how it fare wouldn't be cost possession a car any more than, and how the conversion could occur really rapidly, in as slight as 10 years, or so the reason rest. The results would convert the way we dwell. I recognized how the concept was contentious and guessed readers to answer. And you did. Thousands of thou. Lot of readers mind the courageous new planet of personality driving vehicles voiced large. But more than doubted if it would very go to undergo. So we enlisted several expert to investigate yours concerns and to assist try and job out fair how potential it is how the age of the individual car very will quickly be above. Allows get every item of the coup individually. At first away, the cars. Lot of you requested if down there would very be quite Lee or co in the planet to do all the batteries they would requirement, for sample. Move up Michael Leapreich, a stability specialist who rest a pure power and transport consulting in London. Down there's no lack of each item in the planet, he says, the actual question is if the mountain production has the power to dig the material of, and down there's been enormous invest in setting how in location as consumer demand has rising. Lot of main forecasters now believe how down there'll be more than rather than 100 millionth electrical vehicles on the planet's roads by 2030. Not rather the whole-scale coup I talked on, down there could be almost 2 trillion cars in full on the roads by later, but a really considerable growth however. Lot of you talked on the feeling of Liberty Drive gives, the awe of setting the foot to the metal. The answer of Carlito Sway was quite common, if you believe I'm giver up flaming off boy racers at the lights in my time, believe once again suckers. I'll cup how one to Gary Mark, a prof of psychological at New York College who found period to set up an synthetic intellect, artificial intelligence, business how was snapped up by Uber. He acknowledges how drive can be a really releasing expertise but says how doesn't indicate we'll ever do it, or ever should do it. Ultimately it will be a security question, says Professor Mark. Down there will go a day while driverless cars are fair lot more secure rather than human beings. But, and down there is a big but there, he doesn't believe the transfer to personality driving vehicles is departure to occur in the following 10 years. He thinks it could be a pair of many decades up independent technique is up to the problem of drive a car reliably. But Professor Mark says advance on personality driving cars has been anywhere close as fast. The issue is how drive is a lot more than facility and unexpected rather than playing chess. It turns out the problem of receive a car to monitoring himself is a ultimate figure of the framework of present AI. Computers may be capable to do several things way superior rather than though the really cleverest of humans, but frequently failure at tasks how though the stupidest humans can reach in easy. A key question is how, while it comes to drive, you can provide to do mistakes, points out Professor Mark. The implementation how receive cars to swim reliably everywhere some rather than simple environments love motorways has done the trip-hailing giants a lot less than bull on the independent drive coup. Down there will be places and times wherever it makes a entire lot of feeling for an independent car to choose who up, and down there will be some places and times and weather facility and areas of the nation wherever possessing a motorist how looks a lot love which Uber looks love present will go on for rather a time. Uber's chief of transport politics and study, Andrew Salzberg, concedes. Mr. Salzberg's answer to the critique may surprise party thou. He says several of the largest drama changes Uber has already driven include been in the less towns and village areas in California. He says how it utilized to be difficult to hello a cab in the more than remotely areas of Uber Center, but claims the business can now propose lot users 5 or 10 min answer times. The key is the amount of the web, says Mr. Salzberg. Uber now has adequate customers, in California at low, to produce quite rides to do drive a cab worth though in areas in low people densities. So there's my finding. 2 of the 3 parts of the independent coup, electrical vehicles and trip-hailing apps, seem to be upcoming on rather pleasantly. But the tertiary, and largest essential, automate, yet has a length way to go. Affirmative, you can already buy a car how will manage you on a highway, although thou requirement to hold yours hands on the tire since these technologies are formally fair and progressive release of flight monitoring. So it's precise it is departure to get lot much longer rather than 10-year up completely automatic vehicles are adopted, and thus the complete robo-taxi coup can start in pledge. It will occur, but fare not as rapidly as Lot hoped. But in the meanwhile some forces are blasting our affection to our automobile. So why could the business conduct such a enormous cost label? It is since Uber is at the forefront of the fight for the next of one of the largest business community on the earth, transport. How is surely the reason Uber's Andrew Salzberg makes. He predicts how lot millennials will never own a vehicle. It is more rapid in the night replace there in San Francisco to get a bicycle to job, but deceased at overnight you may requirement a car to the airport, Mr. Salzberg says. Lot of some companies are clicking at Uber's heels, coming up in new ways to ensure inexpensive and effective ways for us all to get about. So though if the robo-taxi coup is a way off down there are a lot of new reasons you may solve not to membrane out on a car of yours their own.